While Russia continues to dismiss speculation that it intends to invade Ukraine, despite having more than 100,000 troops amassed near the Ukrainian border.
As stated, Russia says it sees the United States and its NATO allies as the aggressors by not moving to exclude Ukraine from NATO, thereby expanding Western influence eastward.
Joining us now, a professor at the Kroc School of Peace Studies at USD, Philip Gamaghelyan. Philip, welcome. And hopefully we'll be able to hear you, Professor. Let me start with the first question is, Russia says it feels threatened. Do they have a point?
Thank you for inviting me. This is not a new conversation. It has been at least 2 decades since Russia sees this as a defensive move. It has been warning NATO and the United States not to continue expanding eastward. Specifically into the countries of the former Soviet Union and the former Warsaw Pact, such as Poland or Estonia or Latvia. And the potential of Ukraine joining NATO has been seen as a threat by Russia. So in that sense, in a global picture, Russia has been long warning that any kind of move further eastward will get a pushback. So from that perspective, Russia is acting defensively and has been warning for a long time that this is coming.
Yeah, as you allude to, this is not a new situation. 2014, we saw what was happening with Crimea, and this has been a tension that's been building for years. Can you talk about how that started and why Ukraine is such a flashpoint?
Indeed. So apart from military confrontation that's from Russian perspective is ongoing since the end of the Cold War still, which means the expansion of NATO towards its borders, there is also the political dimension to the conversation. It's whether or not the countries of this region are democratizing. Ukraine is one of those that try to democratize. A few times, or 2 or 3 times, it had democratic revolutions, and it tried to integrate with the European Union and NATO. And that does pull it away from the Russian orbit. So that in turn solicited this involvement of Russia in Ukrainian politics, takeover of Crimea, annexation of Crimea, war in eastern Ukraine, which has been supported by Russia indirectly, and now we are moving towards a potentially overt involvement of Russia in Ukraine.
So long history there in terms of what is happening right now. What's the end game here? How bad could this get?
So until now, there has been no overt involvement of Russian army, or overall almost any army, in a foreign affairs or invading foreign lands. There has been proxy wars, there have been support for local paramilitaries, but this will be a first time since the end of the Cold War where Russia overtly starts an offensive war. And that will completely change the security architecture in Europe, what is allowed. Ukraine might be first but not last on the list of countries that then are seen as potentially susceptible for Russian invasion and effectively reconstructing the old empire. It's a pretty big game changer if this happens.
And what do you anticipate is Russia's sort of overall strategy here in terms of going forward in world politics and in terms of trying to establish its position?
Militarily, again, minimally, it wants NATO to stop expanding towards its borders. So that can be the minimal program that Vladimir Putin is pursuing. The more maximalist view might be that it's trying to expand its own territory, either directly or indirectly. But there is also a political part of this conversation, this is also seen as a battle between liberal democracies and authoritarian illiberal regimes, which Russia and China are certainly part of. And in that sense, ensuring that Ukraine and other important countries of the region are not democratizing, are not integrating with the European Union, and the liberal democratic world is not expanding, is also part of this bigger picture conflict that we are witnessing.
And we have been speaking with a professor at the Kroc School of Peace Studies at USD, Philip Gamaghelyan. And Professor, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.